Understanding ESG and GRC, a comparative analysis. Welcome to my webinar. I'm Richard Winfield. I'm the Independent Authority on Director Development. I'm an international trainer and facilitator, and I specialise in corporate governance and executive and career coaching at senior levels. I'm also the creator of the 3 Ticks Academy, and I'm the author of the New Directors Handbook series. I'm the guy to call when you want to bring structure and clarity to your thinking. I can help you identify core issues and make complex ideas simple, holding the space for you to create your own solutions. You can contact me at richardwinfield.com or rwinfield@brevigroup.co.uk. So, introduction to this webinar. I've developed this webinar to introduce you to 2 concepts that both feature governance. ESG, Environment, Social and Governance, and GRC, Governance, Risk and Compliance. By examining the 2 frameworks side by side, I've set out to provide insights into how organisations can leverage ESG and GRC principles to drive sustainable growth, mitigate risks and enhance overall performance. Now, before you start, it would be useful for you perhaps just to have a think about how you're going to get the most out of this webinar. And I would recommend that you decide to keep some notes. So what are you going to do to ensure you get the most out of the webinar? It's worth making notes as you go along. If you already have a dedicated workbook, fine. If not, take notes on clean sheets and then add them to a learning folder or a ring file. So, understanding ESG and GRC. Leveraging ESG and GRC in modern business. In the dynamic landscape of modern business, 2 concepts have emerged as paramount in guiding organisational behaviour and decision making: environment, social and governance, ESG, and governance, risk and compliance, GRC. So let's start by thinking about ESG. ESG encapsulates the principles and practices related to a company's environmental impact, social responsibility and governance structure. It encompasses a broad spectrum of issues ranging from environmental sustainability initiatives to social factors like diversity and inclusion, labour practices and community engagement. Here are some components, the 3. ESG considerations involve environmental sustainability initiatives such as reducing carbon emissions and managing natural resources efficiently. Social factors include diversity and inclusion, labour practices and community engagement. Governance aspects encompass board composition, executive compensation, transparency and accountability structures. Now, GRC. GRC focuses on ensuring effective governance, managing risks and maintaining compliance with regulatory requirements. It aims to establish robust decision-making processes to identify, assess and mitigate potential threats and ensure that organisations operate within legal and ethical boundaries. The components of GRC. GRC initiatives ensure adherence to laws, regulations and internal policies. Governance within GRC focuses on establishing robust decision-making processes. Risk management involves identifying, assessing and mitigating potential threats, while compliance activities aim to ensure legal and ethical operation. So how important are these? The significance of ESG and GRC in modern business practices cannot be overstated. Companies that prioritise ESG factors tend to outperform their peers financially, attract investors who value sustainability, and build stronger relationships with customers and stakeholders. Effective GRC frameworks enable organisations to navigate complex regulatory environments, anticipate and mitigate risks, and maintain the trust and confidence of investors, customers, and the public. So the frameworks. Managing organisational operations. ESG and GRC are 2 distinct but related frameworks that organisations use to manage various aspects of their operations. So let's explore each concept and then compare them. ESG, environmental. Environmental focuses on a company's impact on the environment, including its carbon footprint, resource usage, and efforts towards sustainability. Social. Social encompasses a company's relationships with its employees, customers, communities, and broader societal considerations, including diversity and inclusion, labour practices, and community engagement. Governance. Governance refers to the structure and processes that guide corporate behaviour, including the composition and effectiveness of the board, executive compensation, and shareholder rights. ESG criteria are used by investors and other stakeholders to evaluate a company's non-financial performance and to assess its overall impact on society and the environment. Now, GRC. Governance in this case. In GRC, governance refers to the framework of rules, practices, and policies by which an organisation is directed and controlled. This involves the structure and functioning of the board, decision-making processes, and overall corporate oversight. Risk. Risk encompasses the identification, assessment, and management of risks that could affect an organization's ability to achieve its objectives. This involves understanding and mitigating potential threats to the organization's success. Compliance. Compliance involves adherence to laws, regulations, standards, and internal policies. Ensuring compliance helps organizations operate ethically, avoid legal issues, and meet societal expectations. GRC is a holistic approach that integrates governance, risk management, and compliance activities to ensure an organization operates effectively and ethically. ESG and GRC are complementary frameworks that address different aspects of organizational performance. ESG focuses on sustainability and societal impact, whilst GRC encompasses a broader range of activities related to governance, risk management, and compliance, with a focus on both financial and non-financial aspects. So let's look at the complementary nature of the two. ESG and GRC, while distinct in their focus, are complementary frameworks that, when used in tandem, provide a comprehensive approach to organizational performance. ESG focuses on sustainability and societal impact, providing a lens through which companies can showcase their commitment to responsible practices. GRC, on the other hand, offers a broader integrated approach that ensures organizations operate ethically, manage risks effectively, and comply with regulations. Together, these complementary frameworks empower organizations to thrive in an environment where ethical conduct, sustainability, and compliance are essential pillars of success. So let's focus now on their differences. ESG primarily concentrates on non-financial factors related to sustainability and societal impact, whereas GRC has a broader scope encompassing governance, risk management, and compliance, with a focus on both financial and non-financial aspects. The distinctions between their purpose. ESG aims to communicate a company's sustainability and societal impact to investors and stakeholders, emphasizing responsible business practices. In contrast, GRC aims to ensure that an organization operates efficiently, ethically, and in compliance with laws and regulations to achieve its objectives. ESG can be integrated into an organization's overall strategy, but is often viewed as a specific framework for non-financial performance. GRC, on the other hand, integrates governance, risk management, and compliance into a unified framework, recognizing their interconnected nature. Let's consider the contrasting interests of stakeholders. Interest in ESG and GRC extends to various stakeholders, each with their unique perspectives and motivations. So firstly, interest in ESG. The investors. Investors are increasingly recognizing the impact of non-financial factors on long-term financial performance. Now, shareholders, especially those with a long-term investment horizon, are concerned about the overall sustainability and societal impact of the companies they invest in. ESG performance can influence shareholder loyalty and trust. Consumers are becoming more socially conscious, and they are inclined to support companies that align with their values. ESG practices contribute to a positive brand image, potentially influencing purchasing decisions. Employees, especially younger generations, often seek employers with strong ethical and sustainability practices. ESG initiatives can contribute to attracting and retaining top talent. Regulators and policymakers. Regulatory bodies are increasingly incorporating ESG factors into disclosure requirements. Policymakers may also use ESG metrics to inform regulations and incentives related to sustainability. So, interest in GRC. Executives and leadership teams. Executives are interested in GRC to ensure that their organizations operate efficiently, make informed strategic decisions, and maintain a strong ethical foundation. GRC provides a framework for effective governance and risk management. The Board of Directors. Boards are responsible for overseeing the organization's activities and ensuring it complies with laws and regulations. GRC provides a structured approach to governance, risk management, and compliance, aiding in effective board oversight. Risk management professionals. Professionals in risk management are keenly interested in GRC to identify potential risks, assess their impact, and implement strategies to mitigate them. GRC helps organizations proactively manage uncertainties. Compliance officers. Compliance officers play a crucial role in ensuring that the organization adheres to laws, industry standards, and internal policies. GRC provides a comprehensive framework for managing compliance activities. Internal and external auditors. Auditors, both internal and external, are interested in GRC for assurance purposes. GRC frameworks provide a basis for validating that an organization's governance, risk management, and compliance processes are effective and reliable. Investors and analysts. Investors and financial analysts may be interested in GRC as it helps them assess the robustness of an organization's risk management practices, which can impact the overall investment risk. ESG attracts attention from investors, shareholders, customers, employees, and regulators due to its focus on sustainability and societal impact. GRC, on the other hand, is primarily of interest to executives, boards, risk management professionals, compliance officers, auditors, and investors concerned with effective governance, risk management, and compliance within an organization. Both frameworks contribute to the overall health and sustainability of organizations in their respective ways. So the importance of ESG in corporate sustainability and responsible investing. ESG considerations play a critical role in driving corporate sustainability and responsible investing practices. Companies that prioritize ESG factors are better positioned to create long-term value for all stakeholders, while minimizing negative impacts on the environment and society. Key reasons why ESG is important include risk management. Integrating ESG factors into business operations helps identify and mitigate risks associated with environmental, social, and governance issues. By proactively addressing these risks, companies can avoid costly disruptions, regulatory penalties, and reputational damage. Long-term value creation. ESG-focused companies are more resilient and better equipped to adapt to evolving market dynamics and stakeholder expectations. By addressing sustainability challenges and societal concerns, companies can enhance their brand reputation, attract top talent, foster innovation, and build stronger relationships with customers and investors. Access to capital. Investors are increasingly incorporating ESG criteria into their investment decisions, seeking opportunities that align with their values and sustainability objectives. Companies with strong ESG performance may have better access to capital, lower borrowing costs, and higher valuations, as they are perceived as less risky and more responsible investments. Shareholder engagement. ESG initiatives enable companies to engage with a wide range of stakeholders, including investors, customers, employees, regulators, and communities. By actively involving stakeholders in decision-making processes and addressing their concerns, companies can build trust, enhance transparency, and foster long-term relationships based on mutual respect and collaboration. Key metrics and indicators that are used to evaluate ESG performance. Measuring ESG performance involves assessing a variety of quantitative and qualitative metrics across environmental, social, and governance dimensions. Some common metrics and indicators used to evaluate ESG performance include environmental metrics: carbon emissions, energy consumption, water usage, waste generation, renewable energy adoption, pollution levels, biodiversity impact, and environmental management certifications such as ISO 14001. Social metrics: employee turnover rates, employee satisfaction scores, diversity and inclusion metrics such as gender and ethnic diversity in leadership positions, health and safety records, labour practices, for example fair wages and labour rights, community investment, and stakeholder engagement activities. Governance metrics: board diversity and independence, executive compensation ratios, shareholder rights, audit committee independence, transparency of corporate governance practices, anti-corruption policies, regulatory compliance, and ethical business conduct. These metrics provide valuable insights into a company's ESG performance and help stakeholders assess its overall sustainability and responsible business practices. So here are some examples of some companies which have excelled in ESG practices. Numerous companies across industries have demonstrated leadership in ESG practices, setting industry benchmarks and inspiring others to follow suit. Some notable examples include Unilever. Unilever is widely recognized for its commitment to sustainability and responsible business practices. The company has set ambitious targets to reduce its environmental footprint, promote social inclusion, and enhance transparency in its supply chain. Unilever's Sustainable Living Plan outlined its goals to improve the health and well-being of 1 billion people, reduce environmental impact, and enhance livelihoods by 2020. Microsoft has made significant strides in environmental sustainability, pledging to become carbon negative by 2030 and to remove all the carbon it has emitted since its founding by 2050. The company has also prioritized diversity and inclusion initiatives, aiming to increase the representation of women and underrepresented minorities in its workforce and leadership roles. Microsoft's strong governance practices include transparent reporting on political contributions, lobbying activities, and ethical business conduct. Danone is committed to promoting sustainable agriculture, biodiversity conservation, and circular economy principles across its supply chain. The company has launched initiatives to reduce water usage, improve soil health, and support regenerative farming practices. Danone's governance framework emphasizes board diversity, stakeholder engagement, and ethical business conduct, aligning its mission to create shared value for all stakeholders. These companies serve as inspiring examples of how ESG principles can be integrated into business strategies to drive sustainable growth, enhance stakeholder value, and contribute positively to society and the environment. By prioritizing ESG factors, companies can differentiate themselves in the market, mitigate risks, and seize opportunities for innovation and long-term success. So, now let's turn to GRC and its role in reducing risks, costs, and duplication of efforts. GRC plays a critical role in promoting effective corporate governance, managing risks, and ensuring regulatory compliance by establishing clear accountability. GRC frameworks define roles, responsibilities, and decision-making authorities within organizations, promoting transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct at all levels. Identifying and assessing risks. GRC processes enable organizations to identify, assess, and prioritize risks across various business functions and activities. By understanding potential threats and opportunities, organizations can make informed decisions and allocate resources effectively to mitigate risks. Implementing controls and mitigation strategies. GRC frameworks help organizations develop and implement controls and mitigation strategies to address identified risks. This may involve implementing internal controls, adopting risk management practices, and deploying technology solutions to monitor and manage risks in real time. Monitoring and reporting on compliance. GRC initiatives facilitate the monitoring and reporting of compliance activities, ensuring that organizations adhere to applicable laws, regulations, and internal policies. Regular assessments and audits help identify areas of non-compliance and implement corrective actions to mitigate risks and improve performance. Frameworks and methodologies commonly used in GRC implementation. Several frameworks and methodologies are commonly used in GRC implementation, including COSO, the Committee of Sponsoring Organizations of the Treadway Commission. COSO provides a comprehensive framework for internal control, risk management, and fraud prevention. The COSO framework consists of 5 interrelated components: control environment, risk assessment, control activities, information and communication, and monitoring activities. ISO, the International Organization for Standardization. ISO standards such as ISO 31000 risk management and ISO 19600 compliance management systems provide guidelines and best practices for implementing risk management and compliance management systems. These standards help organizations establish systematic approaches to identify, assess, and manage risks, and ensure compliance with legal and regulatory requirements. NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology. NIST frameworks such as the Cybersecurity Framework and the Risk Management Framework provide guidance on managing cybersecurity risks and implementing risk management practices in organizations. These frameworks help organizations assess and manage cybersecurity risks, protect sensitive information, and enhance resilience against cyber threats. Now some more case studies, in this case illustrating successful GRC integration in organizations. Wells Fargo. In response to regulatory scrutiny and public criticism following a series of scandals, Wells Fargo implemented a comprehensive GRC program to strengthen governance, risk management, and compliance practices. The company revamped its governance structure, enhanced risk oversight, and implemented rigorous compliance controls to prevent future misconduct. As a result, Wells Fargo improved transparency, accountability, and regulatory compliance, restoring trust and confidence among stakeholders. Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson implemented a robust GRC framework to manage risks and ensure compliance across its global operations. The company established clear governance structures, implemented risk management processes, and enhanced compliance monitoring and reporting capabilities. By integrating GRC principles into its business operations, Johnson & Johnson improved risk visibility, enhanced decision-making, and maintained a strong commitment to ethical conduct and corporate responsibility. Now, General Electric. GE implemented a GRC program to streamline governance processes, strengthen risk management practices, and ensure regulatory compliance across its diverse business portfolio. The company adopted a centralized approach to governance, established risk management frameworks, and implemented compliance monitoring tools to mitigate risks and address regulatory requirements. Through proactive risk management and compliance initiatives, GE enhanced transparency, accountability, and operational efficiency, driving sustainable growth and value creation. So these case studies highlighted the importance of GRC in promoting effective governance, managing risks, and ensuring compliance in organizations. By implementing robust GRC frameworks and methodologies, companies can enhance transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct, fostering trust and confidence among stakeholders and driving long-term success. So let's have a comparison of ESG and GRC. Right. ESG and GRC, distinct yet interconnected frameworks, play pivotal roles in shaping organizational behavior and performance. While both ESG and GRC share common objectives related to governance, risk management, and compliance, they differ in their scope, focus, stakeholder involvement, and measurement methodologies. Understanding the similarities and differences between these frameworks is essential for organizations seeking to optimize their operations and enhance corporate performance and sustainability. So firstly, let's look at some similarities between ESG and GRC concepts. Focus on governance and accountability. Both ESG and GRC frameworks emphasize the importance of strong governance structures and accountability mechanisms within organizations. They recognize the critical role of boards of directors, executive leadership, and management in setting strategic direction, ensuring ethical conduct, and safeguarding stakeholder interests. Integration of risk management. ESG and GRC frameworks integrate risk management principles into their respective approaches. They acknowledge the need for organizations to identify, assess, mitigate, and monitor risks across environmental, social, governance, regulatory, and operational domains. By proactively managing risks, company can enhance resilience, protect reputation, and create long-term value for stakeholders. Alignment with organizational objectives. Both ESG and GRC initiatives aim to align with and support organizational objectives, values, and priorities. They recognize that sustainable business practices, effective risk management, and regulatory compliance are essential elements of corporate strategy and contribute to achieving long-term financial success and stakeholder satisfaction. Now, the differences. Scope and focus of each concept. ESG primarily focuses on environmental sustainability, social responsibility, and governance practices within an organization. It encompasses a broader range of issues, including climate change mitigation, diversity and inclusion, human rights, and community engagement. In contrast, GRC has a narrower focus on governance, risk management, and compliance with laws, regulations, and internal policies. Stakeholder involvement and motivations. ESG initiatives often involve a wide range of stakeholders, including investors, customers, employees, communities, and advocacy groups. Stakeholders are motivated by ethical considerations, sustainability goals, and the desire to promote positive social and environmental outcomes. In contrast, GRC initiatives primarily involve internal stakeholders, such as management, board members, legal and compliance teams, and internal auditors, who are motivated by regulatory requirements, risk mitigation objectives, and the need to protect the organization's reputation and interests. Management and reporting methodologies. ESG performance is typically measured using a combination of qualitative and quantitative metrics, such as sustainability reports, ESG ratings, and stakeholder feedback. Reporting on ESG factors often involves disclosing non-financial information through frameworks like the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI, or the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, SASB. In contrast, GRC performance is evaluated using key risk indicators, KRIs, compliance metrics, internal control assessments, and audit findings. Reporting on GRC activities focuses on demonstrating compliance with laws, regulations, and internal policies, often through internal control frameworks like COSO or ISO standards. Now, let's look at how ESG and GRC complement each other in enhancing corporate performance and sustainability. While ESG and GRC frameworks have distinct purposes and areas of focus, they are mutually reinforcing and complementary in enhancing corporate performance and sustainability. By integrating ESG principles into GRC frameworks and vice versa, organizations can strengthen governance and ethical leadership. Incorporating ESG considerations into governance structures enhances transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct within organizations. Effective governance practices support sustainable decision-making, risk oversight, and stakeholder engagement, aligning with ESG objectives. Enhance risk management and resilience. Integrating ESG factors into risk management processes helps organizations identify emerging risks, anticipate future challenges, and adapt to changing environmental, social, and regulatory landscapes. Proactive risk management initiatives support business continuity, resilience, and value creation, contributing to long-term sustainability. Foster compliance and regulatory excellence. Aligning ESG initiatives with GRC frameworks ensures organizations meet legal and regulatory requirements while also addressing broader environmental and social responsibilities. Compliance with ESG standards enhances credibility, trust, and reputation, positioning companies as responsible corporate citizens and preferred partners for investors, customers, and other stakeholders. Drive innovation and competitive advantage. By embracing ESG principles and GRC best practices, organizations can foster a culture of innovation, continuous improvement, and strategic alignment. Integrating sustainability considerations into business strategies stimulates creativity, drives operational efficiencies, and enhances competitiveness, leading to long-term growth and value creation. ESG and GRC frameworks offer complementary approaches to addressing governance, risk, compliance, and sustainability challenges within organizations. By leveraging synergies between these frameworks and adopting an integrated approach, companies can enhance corporate performance, mitigate risks, and achieve sustainable growth in a rapidly evolving business environment. Challenges and opportunities. Implementing ESG and GRC initiatives presents organizations with both challenges and opportunities. While these frameworks offer numerous benefits, they also require careful planning, resource allocation, and stakeholder engagement to realize their full potential. Understanding the challenges and opportunities associated with ESG and GRC implementation is essential for organizations seeking to enhance their performance, mitigate risks, and achieve sustainable growth. Challenges faced in implementing ESG and GRC initiatives. Complexity and integration. ESG and GRC initiatives involve multiple stakeholders, processes and systems, making them inherently complex to implement and manage. Integrating diverse data sources, aligning objectives across departments, and coordinating efforts across organizational silos can pose significant challenges. Resource constraints. Implementing ESG and GRC initiatives requires adequate resources, including financial, human, and technological resources. Limited budgets, competing priorities, and resource constraints may hinder organizations' ability to invest in necessary infrastructure, technology, and expertise. Data quality and availability. ESG and GRC initiatives rely on accurate, reliable, and timely data to assess performance, identify risks, and ensure compliance. However, data quality issues, inconsistent reporting standards, and data gaps may impede organizations' ability to measure progress and make informed decisions. Stakeholder engagement and alignment. Engaging stakeholders, including investors, customers, employees, regulators, and communities, is essential for the success of ESG and GRC initiatives. However, conflicting interests, differing priorities, and communication challenges may hinder effective stakeholder engagement and alignment. Regulatory uncertainty. Evolving regulatory landscapes and changing compliance requirements pose challenges for organizations seeking to navigate complex regulatory environments. Keeping pace with regulatory changes, interpreting ambiguous regulations, and ensuring compliance with diverse legal and regulatory frameworks can be daunting tasks. So, opportunities now for organizations to leverage ESG and GRC for competitive advantage. Enhanced reputation and brand value. Implementing robust ESG and GRC initiatives can enhance organizations' reputation and brand value, distinguishing them as responsible corporate citizens committed to sustainability, integrity, and transparency. Improved management and resilience. ESG and GRC frameworks help organizations to identify, assess, and mitigate risks, enhancing their resilience and ability to withstand market fluctuations, regulatory changes, and unforeseen disruptions. Access to capital and investment opportunities. Investors are increasingly incorporating ESG criteria into their investment decisions, seeking opportunities that align with their sustainability goals and values. Companies with strong ESG performance may have better access to capital, lower borrowing costs, and enhanced investor confidence. Innovation and differentiation. Embracing ESG principles and GRC best practices can stimulate innovation, drive operational efficiencies, and differentiate organizations in the market. By integrating sustainability considerations into product development, supply chain management, and business strategies, companies can create new opportunities for growth and value creation. Enhanced stakeholder trust and engagement. ESG and GRC initiatives foster transparency, accountability, and trust among stakeholders, including investors, customers, employees, regulators, and communities. By actively engaging with stakeholders and addressing their concerns, organizations can build long-term relationships based on mutual respect and collaboration. Now, strategies for overcoming some of the barriers and maximizing benefits. Leadership commitment and engagement. Senior leadership's commitment and engagement are critical for the success of ESG and GRC initiatives. Leaders should champion sustainability, integrity, and compliance efforts, setting clear goals, allocating resources, and fostering a culture of accountability and continuous improvement. Integrated approach and collaboration. Taking an integrated approach to ESG and GRC allows organizations to leverage synergies, streamline processes, and optimize resources. Collaboration across departments, functions and business units enhances alignment, fosters innovation and maximises the benefits of ESG and GRC initiatives. Investment in technology and data analytics. Investing in advanced technology solutions and data analytics capabilities enables organisations to collect, analyse and to report on ESG and GRC data effectively. Leveraging automation, artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies enhances efficiency, accuracy and insights, enabling organisations to make data-driven decisions and improve performance. Continuous monitoring and improvement. Establishing robust monitoring and reporting mechanisms allows organisations to track progress, identify areas for improvement and adapt strategies in real time. Regular assessments, audits and performance reviews help organisations to stay agile, responsive and resilient in the face of evolving challenges and opportunities. Stakeholder engagement and communication. Engaging stakeholders proactively and communicating transparently about ESG and GRC initiatives fosters trust, builds credibility and enhances collaboration. Establishing open channels of communication, soliciting feedback and addressing stakeholder concerns demonstrate organisations' commitment to accountability, sustainability and responsible business practices. By addressing these challenges and leveraging opportunities, organisations can unlock the full potential of ESG and GRC initiatives, driving sustainable growth, mitigating risks and creating long-term value for stakeholders and society. So let's look at the future. The landscape of ESG and GRC is continuously evolving, driven by changing market dynamics, regulatory developments, technological advancements, and shifting stakeholder expectations. Anticipating future trends and developments in the ESG and GRC landscape is crucial for organisations to stay ahead of the curve, adapt to emerging challenges, and capitalise on new opportunities. Here are some key trends and outlooks shaping the future of ESG and GRC. Integration of ESG into core business strategies. Companies are increasingly integrating ESG considerations into their core business strategies, recognizing the interconnectedness between sustainability, financial performance, and long-term value creation. ESG factors are becoming key drivers of competitive advantage, influencing investment decisions, customer preferences, and stakeholder engagement strategies. Focus on social and human capital. There is a growing emphasis on social factors, including human capital management, diversity and inclusion, employee well-being, and community engagement. Organisations are prioritising initiatives that promote a positive workplace culture, support employee development, and contribute to the well-being of society. Enhanced risk management and resilience. Risk management is evolving to address emerging risks such as climate change, cybersecurity threats, supply chain disruptions, and social unrest. Organisations are adopting holistic approaches to risk management that integrate ESG considerations, scenario analysis, and stress testing to enhance resilience and adaptability. Technology-driven solutions. Technology is playing an increasingly important role in ESG and GRC initiatives, enabling organisations to collect, analyse and report on data more effectively. Innovations such as artificial intelligence, blockchain and data analytics are transforming risk management, compliance monitoring and sustainability reporting, driving efficiency and accuracy. Stakeholder engagement and transparency. Stakeholder expectations for transparency, accountability and ethical conduct are rising, prompting organisations to enhance their engagement with investors, customers, employees, regulators and communities. Transparent reporting on ESG performance, proactive stakeholder engagement and responsiveness to feedback are becoming essential for building trust and credibility. Now, some developments in standards and regulations. Increased regulatory scrutiny. Regulators are expected to ramp up scrutiny of ESG disclosures, corporate governance practices, and compliance with environmental and social regulations. Anticipated regulations may include mandatory ESG reporting requirements, climate-related disclosures, and stricter enforcement of existing laws and regulations. Standardization and harmonization. Efforts to standardize ESG reporting frameworks and harmonize sustainability standards are likely to intensify, facilitating comparability and consistency across industries and jurisdictions. Organizations may be required to adopt common reporting frameworks such as the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures or the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board standards. Focus on climate-related risks. Climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts are expected to gain momentum, with regulators imposing stricter requirements on carbon emissions, climate-related disclosures, and sustainable investment practices. Companies may face increased pressure to transition to low-carbon business models, disclose climate-related risks, and align with global climate goals. Enhanced governance and oversight. Regulators may introduce reforms to strengthen corporate governance practices, improve board diversity and independence, and enhance oversight of executive compensation. Increased emphasis on board accountability, shareholder rights, and ethical conduct may drive governance reforms and regulatory changes. Potential impact on organizational practices and stakeholder expectations. Strategic alignment and innovation. Organizations will need to align their business strategies with emerging ESG trends and regulatory requirements, integrating sustainability considerations into decision-making processes, product development, and supply chain management. Innovation and creativity will be essential for adapting to changing market dynamics and seizing new opportunities. Investor and consumer preferences. Investors and consumers are expected to place greater emphasis on ESG factors when making investment decisions and purchasing products or services. Companies that demonstrate strong ESG performance, transparency, and accountability are likely to attract more investment and customer loyalty, while those that lag behind may face reputational risks and financial consequences. Risk management and compliance. Organizations will need to enhance their risk management and compliance capabilities to address evolving regulatory requirements, emerging risks, and stakeholder expectations. Proactive risk management, robust compliance programs, and effective governance structures will be essential for mitigating risks, ensuring regulatory compliance, and safeguarding organizational reputation. Stakeholder engagement and trust. Building trust and credibility with stakeholders will be critical for organizations seeking to navigate complex ESG and GRC challenges. Transparent communication, proactive stakeholder engagement, and responsiveness to feedback will help organizations build strong relationships, enhance reputation, and foster long-term partnerships based on trust and mutual respect. In summary, the future of ESG and GRC is characterized by increasing complexity, regulatory scrutiny, and stakeholder expectations. Organizations that embrace these trends, adapt to changing market dynamics, and prioritize sustainability, integrity, and accountability will be well positioned to succeed in the evolving business landscape. By integrating ESG considerations into their core business strategies, enhancing risk management and compliance capabilities, and fostering transparent communication with stakeholders, organizations can navigate uncertainty, capitalize on opportunities, and drive sustainable growth in the years to come. Integrating ESG and GRC principles into organizational strategies. Integrating ESG and GRC principles into organisational strategies is essential for several reasons. Enhanced performance. ESG and GRC initiatives help organisations to identify opportunities for improvement, mitigate risk, and optimise operational performance. By integrating sustainability considerations into decision-making processes and aligning with regulatory requirements, organisations can enhance resilience, competitiveness, and long-term value creation. Stakeholder satisfaction. Prioritising ESG and GRC principles demonstrates organisations' commitment to responsible governance, ethical conduct, and sustainability. This builds trust and confidence among stakeholders, including investors, customers, employees, regulators, and communities, and fostering long-term relationships based on transparency and accountability. Risk mitigation. ESG and GRC frameworks enable organisations to identify, assess, and mitigate risks across environmental, social, governance, and regulatory domains. Proactive risk management and compliance efforts help organisations anticipate and respond to emerging threats, protect against financial losses, and safeguard reputation and brand value. Market differentiation. Organisations that excel in ESG and GRC performance differentiate themselves in the market, attracting investors, customers, and talent who value sustainability, integrity, and responsible business practices. By demonstrating leadership in ESG and GRC initiatives, organisations can gain a competitive advantage and position themselves for long-term success. So, in conclusion, responsible governance, effective risk management, and sustainable practices are fundamental pillars of long-term business success. Organisations that prioritise ethical conduct, transparency, and accountability build trust, credibility, and resilience in the face of evolving challenges and opportunities. By integrating ESG and GRC principles into their organisational strategies, companies can navigate uncertainty, capitalise on emerging trends, and create value for all stakeholders. As we look to the future, the importance of responsible governance, risk management, and sustainable practices will continue to grow. Organisations that embrace these principles, adapt to changing market dynamics, and foster a culture of integrity and innovation will thrive in the increasingly complex and interconnected global business environment. Committing your organisation to upholding these principles and driving positive change will benefit society, the environment, and future generations, as well as supporting long-term sustainable success. Thank you.